Well, just when I thought the Oscars couldn't get more crazy, they went crazy. Films that got lauded 12 months ago, completely ignored. Films that I don't think even exist, at least from what I can tell from looking online as to where it's available to watch, somehow get nominated and out Diane Warren. Diane Warren.
But it still happened.
No, but you out Diane Warren. Diane Warren. Is that a curse you want? Like, does that mean she wins? Like,
You
anyway.
know, one of these days they're gonna have to give her win. She's not this. She's gonna be the new Susan Lucci at this point. That's exactly what she is now. She's Susan Lucci of the Oscars.
So yeah,
There's a there's a point in the documentary where she's reading an article and that's the headline that that she's the Susan Lucci of the Oscars. And I think that was back when like it was when what was the what was the Gaga song that lost to Sam Smith?
till it
I think
happens
it
to
was back
you.
then. Yeah, I think it was like back then.
Mm.
That loss hit her hard. You
Oh
see that
yeah.
in the documentary?
So yeah, it's Ashley, AJ, and Owen discussing the craziness from roughly 12 hours ago, or at least 12 hours ago. By the time the show probably finishes, maybe.
Or you mean by the time that my video uploads to YouTube?
I wouldn't give that hope.
I wouldn't either. It's at 26% right now.
Exactly. The link's there, so when it's ready to process, people will be able to see it. But
I've been promoting your guys' videos anyway, so
yeah,
it's like
but
I get stuff out someday, but at least everybody that hasn't yet, check out AJ and Ashley's reactions.
I
I'm
feel
an
that
equal opportunist
I
here, of
feel, as
course.
I say though, that the big talking point is the fact that Wicked went from God knows how much love it got last year to literally nothing.
Yeah, that
Was
was my biggest mistake during any predicting was predicting Wicked in any way, shape, or form. How was I to
I
know
was
that to be the case?
I was just asking Owen before we started, how long before you noticed it was gonna blank?
I look in so like I told you, and when you finally see the video, which whenever it gets posted, I can assure you this is actually what happened because I was here at 8 o'clock this morning, sitting in this chair, waiting in anticipation for 8:30 because I got home late from AEW last night because thanks to the weather in Texas, we got a double taping that we weren't anticipating, so I didn't get out of there until like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So went straight to bed, woke up, 8 o'clock, can't run, not yet. Can't walk, not yet. I have to do this first. And then I can worry about it. Oh, I have to get the video up first. So I'm starting to see, I have AJ's predictions, Ashley's predictions, and my predictions. All of them are right in front of me the whole time. So when you finally do see my video, spoiler alert, it's basically just me putting over AJ and Ashley's predicting abilities.
Which is
And
ironic
occasionally
because
when I got something right.
hell, we'll bring up the final totals now because it will just
Oh,
get too
I've got them
complicated.
already.
The fact that,
I'm
like,
proud.
despite everything, we were still only split by 2 points with AJ on 96, me on 95, and you on 94. And also the fact that I noticed as well, I think for the first time, nobody got a 1 in any of the categories. The worst we did were like 2s. I feel at
I
least
counted.
in one category for any one of us over the last at least 5 years that I can remember, there's been a 1, and like the rest has been most notably in the shorts because of course it
Yeah.
is.
For sure. But it's funny because it's like for the most part, there's obviously some surprises that kind of went over everybody's head. As a collective, I feel that most of us had knocked everything out, with a couple of notable exceptions. Like the shorts, obviously, we're never going to get those. Documentary, stuff like that. But for the most part, if you talk about the categories by and large, at least one of us predicted nearly everything that happened, whether we went with it officially or not.
Yeah. Son of a
And
bitch.
we were talking about
I don't want to
Still
there's
say
kicking
always
I don't want to
myself.
say fuck you, Andrew Scott, but
He's getting
we'll
nominated
get
for
to that.
BAFTA,
We'll
mark
get
my
to
word.
that. But luckily it'll be early. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I want to say the first. It was not the first half because they don't split it like that. I think anymore. It was that first section where they had costume, right? And that was pretty early on, I think.
I don't have the order because I had to jump around a lot, and you can see in my video that I had to keep rolling the mouse back and forth to
Yeah.
try to find category.
But I think when I noticed that Wicked missed costume, that might be where I was like, what, obviously those of you that have seen the live stream will probably know where it was like, where's Wicked?
yeah. 'Cause I think mine was because honestly, I get so frazzled when they're coming out that I can't remember who in the moment is missing.
That's why it was good to have everything in
So,
front of me sometime.
so it wasn't until the break that I realized Grande was missing.
And
And
then
then
also,
I
and
want
I don't think you sort of brought it up at all, but yeah, the fact that it didn't make it in song either.
Yeah.
That at that point I was like, yeah, it's gone, because song was one of the early ones in the second half, I think. So
It was one of the sure bets when it came down to anything. It was like, okay, Grande's getting in. It may get a couple below the line tech categories, and it's definitely getting in the song. There's no way it's not. There were two songs that created. There's got to be one that's going to get in. Every year, we always have that curveball in original song that we anticipate happening, but we never seem to go with it. I've noticed this throughout the years. There is always one. It's Viva Verde this time. And we thought AJ even brought up Billy Idol being the surprise nomination, but it wasn't that either. So we knew there was going to be something because everything looked way too clean. I went with Drive because I thought that F1 had enough buzz to keep propelling it, even though I was very right about F1 in most ways, but not for song. Even I went with the Train Dream song because I felt like, well, they seemed to like it, even though I should not have gone for Weapons and should have went with Train Dream instead. That's the reason I was 9 and 10 for picture. But yeah, it's interesting because to answer your question from the very beginning of the show, once I started realizing when I actually saw the list in front of me, because I was looking at your predictions, looking at Ashley's predictions, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, Wicked's not here. Wicked's not here. Oh, Grande missed. Uh-oh, that's not good. Okay, I immediately regret my decisions. I do.
the fact as
for
well,
me.
like costume where you
And I'm
thought
like,
it was
I'm
a
going to
shoe
lose
in,
a lot of points tonight.
costume where you thought it would have been a shoe in, but yet
Yeah.
Avatar does. Where I'm trying to remember, like in the making of, how many of them were actually in costumes while also being in blue screen, green screen suits so that they could get the fucking mocap on them.
See, the important thing about costume design is not what got in, but what didn't. And the fact that AJ called something, but he called the wrong category. And that was the fact that Shudder now has an Oscar-nominated film on its repertoire with The Ugly Stepsister.
Which is actually the direction I was going, because I was going to say when it started to finally click in for me, wait, where's Wicked, was makeup.
That makes sense.
Because I think it came after there was Grande missing, then I think there was another tech that might have been costumes, and then I think
That
makeup.
sounds right.
And that's when I think it started to click in, like, well, at the time it was, is Wicked only getting into song? And then we saw what
You know, the funny thing about that is the fact that I always bring up okay, let's focus not just on makeup but also on hair. This year, polar opposite. Every single thing in makeup and hairstyling is about the makeup for the most part.
Ugly Stepsister is more hair than makeup, unless the makeup is more subtle than I'm thinking. There's makeup like throughout. Like there's times where it's like there's a decaying corpse.
That makes sense.
I don't know if that's a person in makeup or just like a dummy. But then
Like,
there's obviously at the very end there's like actual that's makeup, but there's also a really gross like zit popping. I don't know if that counts as makeup.
I would say so for sure.
But yeah, I feel like hair is pretty predominant in the Ugly Stepsister as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if we have an order planned. We're going
I was
general
trying to.
thoughts, or because one thing I wanted to point out was that we always talk about there's something that really overperforms and something that really underperforms.
Hmm.
Well, we've just discussed the underperformance.
Yeah,
um, what I was saying to Owen before we started was the interesting thing about sentimental value is we figured it would overperform from what we've already seen, like what happened at SAG.
sure.
But even with us predicting an overperformance for sentimental value, it overperformed our predictions it would overperform.
Very much so.
As soon as Elle Fanning showed up, and then it's like, which is it one or both? And then immediately Inga was right after her, and it's like, okay, this is what sentimental values do. And then that editing nomination for sentimental value is huge for it. That's yeah.
Also,
Ashley,
I mean, to be fair, I was confused by the president first because it was like, considering she's a Liverpudlian, she sounded nothing like Stephen Graham. She, and like, but the accent was like wavering. Like, is she Australian? Is she New Zealand? What's going on there?
I was kind of talking to her speak, so I didn't have dead air or like get copyright stricken. So
Yeah. I made sure when it happened, I just muted the music and just let. Anytime music came up, mute it. So, yeah. I've got the order because I'm literally gonna basically play and pause the actual Oscar nominations, muted in the background.
excellent.
So Josie saying, "Fine." In chat, finally saw sentimental value on MLK Day. Excellent, emotionally resonant story about art and communication. Really happy about its showing. Inga's character and her
Josie,
husband and son are such a cute family. Marriage and family goals.
I'll say right now, and I said this before. There was a lot of discourse on X today about a lot of things, and I just let it like
Let's
go off my back like it
let's
always does. But the funny thing about it is that someone asked about sentimental value, and my response was, it took me two viewings to really get into it. And to piggyback off that, as anyone's listening to this knows, especially if you've been on here for a while, or if you're lurking, or if you've never like been in a live show before, I will state that discussing sentimental value on this channel with AJ a few podcasts ago made me realize just how much I truly enjoyed that movie. And I was championing that movie the second I realized that was how I felt about it. I'm glad you finally got to see it. It's a fantastic movie, and I'm very happy to say it's part of the Two Timers Club for the Oscar nominated Best Picture right now. I can't say that for a lot of things, but I can say it for most things.
So yeah, starting off with supporting actress, where we have Elle Fanning for sentimental value, Inga Ibstotialias for sentimental value as well, Amy Madigan for weapons, Wumi Masaku for sinners, and Tiana Taylor for one battle after another.
So I have the order in front of me, not the order in front of me, but I have the predictions in front of me, and we all jumped on the Odessa as Ion bandwagon because we thought that it was going to be a thing that was going to happen. It looked like it really was going to be a thing that it was going to happen, and I truly believe it would have happened. But I kept discounting Wunmi Misako, and she was always in this. And I don't know why I kept discounting Misako because there was no reason for me to do so. And I have no ill will towards the performance. It's just I never jumped on it. And the funny thing is, when we actually did our real predictions, Ashley's the only one that did.
Well, you remember what I said was I thought her and Odessa were interchangeable, where if it wasn't one, it'd be the other. So
So what you're saying is Ariana Grande got replaced by Elle Fanning because Elle Fanning was always going to happen because sentimental value was always going to happen.
that seems to be the case.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I didn't really, because you'll notice when we were doing a lot of the predictions, I felt like I was just kind of, I felt like Grande was just kind of coasting. Like I was saying her, but I was never sure why.
Yeah, but keep this in mind as I hold my back scratcher for some reason. We got Amy Madigan nominated, so that's all that matters.
What's great and bittersweet is I've always tried to not get my hopes up that Madigan has a chance to go all the way,
Right.
but with it being a her and Tiana Taylor race,
Mm-hmm.
I think her being Weapons' only nomination makes it an uphill battle now. Does that sound right?
Unless you can find a way to win SAG or BAFTA.
Yeah,
I can
but
see Amy Madigan winning SAG. I really can. But this is also when sentimental value can start getting into the
I
conversation.
had yeah, by the way, I did have a theory going into this just a few days ago, and now it's one I think I feel really good about.
Go right ahead.
I'm getting way ahead here, but I'm going to say it now anyway.
Fair.
Before nominations today, my thought process was whoever wins SAG wins SAG
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going to be Skarsgård. I think Skarsgård wins BAFTA and then the Oscar.
I think that's likely.
I was thinking that a few days ago, and today really I feel like solidified that.
So,
Like I said, I'm getting way ahead. I know I'm getting way ahead, but that was my thought process as of the last few days.
so we've discussed in the past when you have the double, which Ashley likes to bring up every single season, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Definitely worked this year, twice. But I'll state right now that tells me that Penn and Del Toro are going to cancel each other out, and that's going to be how Skarsgård wins BAFTA.
Well, you know what else is probably causing this?
Delroy Lindo.
You remember how we've said, if I don't get something sweeping, and then suddenly I love it and get on board with it after a while, that train suddenly dies.
This is correct.
It was not until I told you, you know what? I'm actually okay with this Del Toro thing.
Nope.
It's been dead ever since. And
No thanks, Sensei.
I will say something. I did end up doing something I was planning on. I do have a new Blu-ray in my collection,
You said you were going to.
and so I've watched it again.
Back in theaters Friday with Sinners, by the way, everyone. Tomorrow.
And of course, just to make sure it plays smoothly, I had to watch it again.
Of course.
I'm gonna say something really dangerous. Are you ready?
Oh no.
I already really liked it anyway.
Yes.
I'm I'm really falling in love with this movie.
It's becoming your social network.
I well, I know it's not going to be like it's not going to be like The Social Network and be my number one of its year, but every time I as I predicted, the after the first time I saw it, I said this in the live.
Yes.
It's one of those movies where every time I see it, which is like 3 or 4 times now,
Nice.
um, I fall more and more in love with it. And it's such a the thing about it too is you would think rewatchability would be hindered by its length.
No, not at all.
It's insanely rewatch. It might be the most rewatchable movie of the year.
That sounds about right.
I would say like Sinners and Weapons for me at least would
Mhm.
probably be up there, especially since we've had nearly a year to rewatch Sinners. But but yeah, so I don't know if I just killed its best picture chances with that, but like I said,
Yeah,
it's one where it's not going to be my number one or anything, but I have absolutely no issues with whatever it's about to do over the next couple of months.
Bringing it back to
absolutely.
your statement on Amy Madigan and weapons,
Hmm.
something that I saw on Twitter. One, I could, I was trying to work out and like look in the Twitter comments as to what podcast it was, but one podcast that was claiming was it's going to struggle because Tayana Taylor looks weak because Chase Infinity didn't get nominated, and
No.
PTA probably isn't going to get anything in screenplay because Nolan didn't get anything 2 years ago for
People need to
Oppenheimer.
stop speaking against
Hold
about
up,
Yeah,
hold up, hold up.
AJ wants
Well,
to talk
first,
now.
let me start off by saying I have no idea how you guys can stomach Twitter comments when it comes to when I as soon as these come out, I can't look at anything anymore
the problem
because
is that wasn't a Twitter comment. That was somebody quoting a podcast of apparently
oh
some
god.
repute, but they didn't want to name names, I guess, to sort of protect
Well, here
protect their stupidity. I don't know.
well first of all, I think you could give PTA the adapted screenplay Oscar now. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I don't even Hamnet's his competition, which isn't impossible.
No, it's not.
But this is a movie especially Oppenheimer has a phenomenal script. I'm not even sure I like American Fiction a lot. I
Hmm.
really really love American Fiction, but I feel like that should have been another easy one for Oppenheimer personally. Um with that said, this is I think something that really helps One Battle After Another is even though it's based on a book, it's still based if you know anything about Vineland, you know that it's basically an original script.
Sure.
This is basically all him, more or less.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it being this and with a Nolan movie especially, it's always going to be like the size of the movie and the weight of the movie, and I could see like we knew I can't remember what it is, but we knew at the time American Fiction was winning.
Right. For sure.
But and we talked about this when we talked about if we picked the winners. I explained that Oppenheimer was still my top choice for adapted screenplay.
Hmm.
um but while this one is like more tech heavy than you would probably think, because it's cinematography and editing and sound for a movie like this are all top tier. um, but I don't know. I feel like they're not comparable. I guess is what I'm saying in a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Chase Infinity thing. I don't know, guys. There's something I've been saying all season about category confusion, where it's like, did they all finally say she's not leading though? And not know what to do with her, and that's what happened. Is that what happened,
It has to
or
be.
what? I mean, and I think Kate Hudson's great, so she didn't like weasel into this.
God no, she earned that spot. I don't care what anybody says. I'll die on that hill.
So I guess the question is what the fuck happened with sentimental value and SAG? Because it's almost you would think they didn't see it, but they obviously had to have because it was out. If we had seen sentimental value by the
Yeah,
time SAG came out, SAG certainly would have.
Oh,
if
for sure.
if
I've
they
seen
had
it twice by the time SAG came out.
if they supposedly had an issue with foreign films, I get it more so because there's little to no English in Secret Agent or Sirat or any of those that seem to be in the hunt because of the globes and whatever. So, same with it was just an accident. But with sentimental value sort of having a fair portion of it in English, I'm kind of surprised that SAG seemingly just completely ignored it because it bridges the gap. It's like it wasn't all
It
just read the subtitles.
it was either award it or forget it, and there was no in between when it came to SAG voters, and we'll never know why.
So basically, since it did what it did today, but it didn't do anything at SAG, I'm guessing we are to assume that it's probably going to do extremely well at BAFTA too.
It will do very well at BAFTA.
I say that's the only puzzle piece missing.
I mean, we'll see how that goes. Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday for the actual nominations. Right, so to makeup and hair, we moved to category number 2, where it was Frankenstein, Kakuho, Sinners, Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister.
I mean, with the weird, okay, I guess the conversation we just had about sentimental value and SAG is the conversation we're having about Wicked,
Yeah.
where it's like, I wonder what happened. First of all, am I wrong? The example I kept using that I thought was undeniable was the Tin Man. Is that all? Now I'm like questioning my sanity. That was makeup, right?
I would say it would kind of have to be.
But because you can't sometimes if CGI is good enough, you can't really tell anymore.
That's also
But I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've heard snippets of Ethan Slater interviews about it being makeup.
once again, I would say it's more Wicked would be more hair than makeup overall.
So it's interesting. Like I feel like it's an interesting thing separate from Wicked blanking that Wicked would miss here. You would think there'd be other categories I would say that, but this is the one I'm stuck on, honestly.
See, the fact remains here is that AJ really did well because Kakuho getting in. Whenever there's something that seems that is just out of nowhere and someone goes for it, it's probably best to listen to them most of the time.
Well, mind you, I wouldn't have gone with it in a million years if we didn't have the short list. if we didn't if we didn't ha- if we didn't have the short list, I wouldn't know what that movie is. To be honest
But
with you.
all that matters after everything, it's not for an acting performance, but the Safdies both got their movies nominated. So that's all that matters. So the Smashing Machine, no matter what you want to say about it, is an Oscar nominated performance.
It's a little one-sided, but you're right. Still.
It still happened.
It's like the score at the end of Space Jam when the Toon Squad's on like 1 and the monsters just keep going. That's kind of what the score is between them, but
It's the Harlem Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals all day, every day, but that's beside the point.
I'm gonna take your word for that reference. But
I have no idea why I pulled that out of nowhere. Just kind of did.
Well, the interesting thing though, when it comes to this stuff, is sometimes it's just all stuff that's obvious, but then we have the one that sticks with me that makes me want to take swings and stuff like production design or costumes or makeup is when that creepy, weird ass Pinocchio movie with Roberto Benigni got a couple things.
Mhm.
Right.
And so it's like those right, they might go weird. So that's what I think of when I think of stuff like the Ugly Stepsister or Coco getting in. But yeah. And yeah, I did kind of go away from the Ugly Stepsister and makeup to go with it in costumes, but the fact that that movie's nominated for anything is very inspired.
This is a
And I'm
fantastic. We say this every year, but now we can say with the Academy, it's a great year for horror.
yeah, because the
Big
thing about
time.
it, I don't know about you guys, but when I was thinking about weapons, I had to keep reminding myself because it's just so Sinners was so present and so obvious. It was like when I was afraid that Madigan was going to get snubbed, I was like, well, we know how the Academy is with horror, so I don't know. And then it's like, wait a minute, a horror movie just broke the fucking nominations record.
Yeah,
but um, but yeah, I know like Coogler has said that he doesn't consider Sinners a horror movie,
certainly.
and it's a lot of things, but I hate to go against the artist himself who made it, but Sinners is a horror movie. So
Yeah. We'll find that out in about 7 months. Anyway.
So next came Score,
Okay. Gotta
which
find it. Okay.
naming the names off because it's the usual suspects in Jurgen Fendrix for Begonia, Alexander Desplat for Frankenstein, Max Richter for Hamnet, Johnny Green with One Battle After Another, and Ludwig Göransson for Sinners.
So AJ got the surprise for Begonia, but Ashley got the nod for Hamnet, and I just sucked.
I
So
okay, okay. Once again, I don't have an ear for scores.
no, you mentioned this many times.
I have to be watching a movie and really listening for the score specifically to catch scores. However, so before I get a chance to rewatch Hamnet, I'm gonna say one more time. I think On the Nature of Daylight did the heavy lifting here.
I'm sure of it.
I think
Having
there's,
seen it twice, I'm sure of it.
which is weird because this will be the exact same Academy that saw Arrival, so they've heard it before.
Certainly.
Or if they've seen Disconnect, or if they've seen Shutter Island. It's a very used song at this. When I saw it, when I started hearing it in Hamnet, I was thinking like, oh, that's okay. I would have thought you would have gone with something a little more not as played, but okay. But then
I mean, it's basically Fortunate Son at this point.
but to be fair, as the scene kept going, I was like, this shouldn't be any other song. This is the
No,
song.
for sure.
But again, it's a song. It is not part of the score.
Also correct.
It wasn't a part of Arrival's score either. It was already in Shutter Island and Disconnect by then.
Also correct.
I'm not even sure. Is it original to Shutter Island? Because the Shutter Island one is it's This Bitter Earth with On the Nature of Daylight behind it.
Hmm.
But I don't know if that piece On the Nature of Daylight is original to Shutter Island or if it was its own piece already. I honestly don't know that. I just know Shutter Island's the first place I heard it. And you have to get to the second part of the end credits to hear it. So, but yeah, I'm really psyched about Fendrix here.
Mm.
He's I'm so glad he exists and this is his job.
So wow. So the first, at least according to Wikipedia, the first listing of on the nature of daylight was Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh wow.
20 years ago.
Hmm.
I've I've rewatched Stranger Than Fiction in the last couple of years, and I don't remember it in there.
Hmm.
Well, it gives me a reason to rewatch Stranger Than Fiction. Honestly, I'm not mad.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care.
And then, ironically, a few of the other tracks off the album, The Blue Notebooks, which it came off of, actually showed up in Waltz with Bashir a few years later
Yeah.
in 2008 as well. And then Vladimir's Blues apparently featured throughout all 3 seasons of The Leftovers on HBO. So, yeah, there's a lot of Blue Notebooks that's been used in other projects.
I'm just gonna check something really quick.
Briefly go through some of the other comments, even though, we'll be wrapping around to some of them. Josie says, "Oh, and my brother and his wife are on vacation at Universal Studios now. Maybe you'll see them."
You know, it's funny, Josie. I'm actually, because of today and because of yesterday and because of Sunday, I'm not back at work until Monday morning. So I won't be on Universal property until Monday morning at 9 a.m. So possibly.
Happy
And regardless, I hope they have a wonderful time.
about
I'll
tell you all
Bogoni's
about it. Somebody else.
overperformance. Happy about Bogoni's overperformance, but sad Jesse missed lead.
I just, I like Jesse Plemons a lot, but he was just putting a huge wedge into this actor lineup, and it was making me very nervous for Ethan Hawke. And then I was like, something happened that we're going to talk about a little bit that I was very happy to be wrong about. And then I was like, going to happen. He's not getting in. Oh no, does that mean that Michael B. Jordan's going to miss? Oh God, no, that's never going to happen. Wagner Mora, oh, definitely not. Okay, fine, he's out. We're good. Performance is still good though, and I still enjoy him in Civil War as well, which I don't want to forget that performance.
Nobody's forgetting that performance.
No one can forget that performance, especially how loud it was. Oh my God, my ears are still rattling.
I just checked. Richter didn't score. I was checking to see if Richter had scored Stranger Than Fiction, and he didn't. So I'm guessing On the Nature of Daylight's just an original song of his, just not connected to anything.
Yeah, as I say, it's off an album from 2003 or 4. So it's got nothing to do with a soundtrack.
Interesting.
Fair.
It's just been used plenty of times for those key scenes and whatever.
That I don't know. This is further enforcing my idea that I think people were thinking of it when Hamnet got nominated.
After breaking the non-record, I think Sinners can win picture. Really happy for sentimental values mentioned in editing.
Very happy got in editing, 100%.
F1 Death Race 2000 double feature. Okay, thanks.
The only thing I remember about Death Race 2000 is that the Insane Clown Posse are in it.
I think you're thinking of a different movie.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking of a Death Race movie.
Yeah, Death Race 2000 is from the 70s.
There is a Death Race movie with the Insane Clown Posse in it.
I don't doubt it. I'm sure.
It's probably the one that didn't have Jason Statham.
It's probably one of the straight-to-video sequels to the Jason Statham movie.
2008.
Owen's been declared a pinball wizard.
I mean, we do have this really awesome 24-hour arcade that's down the road from me and John Paul's, like, not want to go to CC's, but the second CC's we go to. And I play pinball there. I like pinball. Pinball is fun.
In honor of the release of Send Help, which award cycle movie character would you most want to see in the Evil Dead universe?
I can't wait for Evil Dead Burn.
And I'm stuck on the fact that I think Owen almost accidentally quoted Cyrus the Virus there with "I like pinball."
I will not talk about Don Callis on here. Wrong, Cyrus the Virus. But right.
Probably the vampire, any of the vampires and sinners.
Jack O'Connell.
Yeah. Jack O'Connell was the head of the Jimmies.
Oh my God. Hey, I might actually like the movie more if that were the case.
Whoa.
Dude, Jack O'Connell
No.
was the head of the Jimmies.
What Ashley was alluding to was his character in Sinners as the leader of the Jimmies.
Okay.
Oh.
He was his own leader of a pack still.
Yeah.
He was a leader of a pack in 2 different movies.
Yeah.
Josie's new watches. Oh, that explains it. Ruggles
Yeah,
of
it
Red
does.
Gap,
100%.
Colors of the Mountain, Flickering Lights, Bronco Billy TV set, and Tommy. Good old Ken Russell.
I remember watching Tommy and Choir actually back when I was in school for the first time.
I love Ruggles of Red Gap. I feel like it's still really hard to find though.
Josie also saying, so happy Blue Moon got into original screenplay. We'll get to that in a few minutes because I know that was.
My God, yeah, we'll talk in a minute, Josie. Do not worry.
Bryce said, I feel I say this every year. What was that?
Who are the ad wizards that came up with this?
It's odd Secret Agent didn't get director or screenplay as it became stronger in international film over just an accident.
You know, I was starting to wonder when Secret Agent didn't get a nomination for screenplay, and I was like, okay, this doesn't make much sense. And I was like, well, wait a minute. They clearly like it enough to do what they did, but it's like they're not going to give it that director spot. And then it was like, oh yeah, the 5 was the case all along, and we all said it. So except for Ashley, who went with Del Toro, but I mean, we'll get there.
Josie mentioning how Wombat are going into production design is a big sign of strength.
Yeah. Anyone that thinks that One Battle is not right now contending for the win does not follow the race enough.
Saying that she wondered if One Battle would also get into makeup, but obviously it missed.
Is there what would that have been apart from Lockjaw's face at the end? Because hair doesn't really stick out.
No. Well, DiCaprio is the dude, maybe.
His hair is like tied up most of the time, anyway.
Right. But you don't know what
I know that's still
when it comes to hairstyling. We never got like parameters or anything.
And say that's still a style too, but
sure.
Yeah, I feel the only thing I can think of would have been deformed Lockjaw.
Kevin Davis saying Oscar voters going to give Warner Brothers major wins before Netflix gets them.
Kevin, I still hope that this Netflix merger does not happen, and if every day it seems further and further away from happening, but also closer.
When you take into account that the Neo record holder and the actual record holder took 29 nominations between them, not including obviously the other one that Warner Brothers would claim in Amy Madigan's Weapons. Yeah, it was a good. It was a good day for Warner Brothers. Also saying that K-pop Demon Hunters will get Best Original Song. We'll get to that. Bryce saying I had Odessa and Ariana over Elle Fanning and Wumi Masaku.
Most of us did, Brian. Most of us did. Me and AJ did.
Mr. Top Hat saying, what a morning, lads.
Tell me about it, Gabriel. Good to have you back.
Wonder if now the branch... Bry saying, I wonder if now the branch finally thought Grande and Mescal are leading and Chase supporting.
It's funny because you see those like secret Oscar ballots that people post, like brutally honest Oscar ballots, and I saw many people putting Grande for leading. I saw at least 4 times. And they had Mescal for leading, which Mescal might have had a better chance if he was leading, but I feel like he would have jobbed out even further because that race was never changing. And it's funny because I said Mescal was going to miss. I just didn't go with it.
Yeah, because
Jesus.
you had the 5 in actor already, plus you'd have to get through Jesse Plemons and Joel Edgerton. That would have been a very uphill battle.
See, that's the shocking one because a lot of people were like Edgerton was a snub because of the fact that Train Dreams did so well. But the thing about it is that Edgerton seemed like he was never in this, but we'll never know because we don't have like a ballot system to determine what the order was when it comes to who was next.
Yeah.
I would like to think in my heart he was very close.
I would
hope.
say I'd say definitely top 10. He might be top 7 or top 8
Yeah.
for sure.
Josie says.
Yeah,
"Wonder
I mean,
if-"
I'm standing.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm standing by. I think him and Plemons were 6 and 7.
That would make sense.
Not in that order. We don't know why that would have been. But...
No.
Oh God. Oh no.
Stop it. Quiet you.
No.
Stop it, you YouTube gremlins. Before we even get started, that's not going anywhere. Continue. Chat.
Josie says, "I wonder if Michael B. Jordan could upset lead actor at SAG. Depending if the support's behind him, I wouldn't call it an upset."
Do we? Okay, now that Josie's brought it up, I would still just kind of bet everything on Chalamet at this point.
Oh yeah.
But Wagner Moore has obviously got a lot of support behind him.
Yes.
Now, mind you, yes, obviously it may not be SAG or BAFTA, but again, we saw what happened with Regina King.
Certainly.
Just based on what we've heard, do we think Chalamet's worn out his welcome with this stuff? Or starting to? Again, before anybody says anything, I would still bet anything Chalamet is going to sweep from here on, unless something happens at BAFTA, whatever that may be. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm curious how people really feel about this, or if it's like, do we shut this kid up and give it to him?
It's like we've talked about before. It's like when it comes down to it, he's just trying to just check off the bucket list right away. It's like Oscar, and now he can progress with the rest of his career.
Well, here's the thing too, is there's a lot of arguments. I personally, before anybody attacks me for what I just said, I said that I feel like he wants to be one of the greats, so he's trying to get the whole Oscar campaigning thing out of the way, so he's not the guy doesn't have an Oscar like Leo was for so long.
Right.
There's also a lot of people saying it's a bit because he's acting like Marty.
Mm-hmm.
And the more, and maybe it's just because he's this good, because we know the Zoom call was a bit.
For sure.
If I remember correctly, if I heard correctly, it's a bit he wrote and directed himself. So, however, I am seeing some clips where I actually say, is it a bit? or is he getting lost in it? I honestly can't tell sometimes. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if he starts rubbing people the wrong way before he gets to a win. Whether that would affect that or not, but I would imagine most people have him penciled in to sweep from here on.
Sure.
Just to kind of go into Josie's point of, could he lose?
Josie saying One Battle's a new American classic. It's so rewatchable.
Yes.
Now, a bit of a query for you, Owen, because I think you're the only one that's seen this so far.
Okay.
When it comes locally to me, I want to see Secret Agent with my mom. My mom likes mysteries and psychological thrillers. Owen, do you think she could dig Secret Agent?
Absolutely. Secret Agent's really solid, and it's really good from beginning to end. The performances are great. It's very suspenseful in places. It gets very intense in some places as well. And yeah, I definitely think that your mom would like it, Josie.
Top Hat also saying, and we'll bring this up later, with Jordan's nomination, is it the first time an actor's been nominated for playing two characters, or is he nominated just for Smoke? No, I think he is listed officially as being nominated for playing both.
Yeah, for sure.
Peter Sellers for Doctor Strangelove played 3 people,
Yeah,
and he was nominated.
and considering
It's
what
that.
it
It's
says with Wagner
definitely.
Moura's character, I'm guessing the other two names are aliases rather than other
Yeah,
characters.
that's a correct statement
Yes.
without giving anything away.
Okay, well, and let me just clarify. There's no question Jordan is it's Jordan's whole presence in the movie is what he's nominated for.
Sure.
Uh, Bryce says for makeup, I had Wicked for Good over Kakuho. And for original score, I had Wicked for Good over Hamnet. Josie's mentioned Death Race 2000 had Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, but so did Driven.
That's also correct.
The F1 movie is what Driven imagines that it wanted to be 25 years ago. Dear God.
Let's not jump over the fact that David Carradine's like the main star of Death Race 2000.
Insert red letter media auto asphyxiation joke.
Oh God.
And Josie also says, Fairy, the parents in Little Amelie are actually Inga's character and her husband in sentimental value. Oh. Now I have even more interest in watching it to see if I can somehow tie it in. Because I think it's like, the fact that like my cinema that never usually does those sort of G-Kid style screening things is actually doing like a whole thing for it, like before what would be half term over here in early February, is intriguing. And Bry, yes, he did. And in the words of Mr. Peabody from Mr. Peabody and Sherman, quiet you. Right, so next up from what was announced, live action short. Which was Butcher Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. So yeah, my Stephen Fry prediction came through. I also didn't realise it was Miriam Margolyes as well, so I don't know if that's the first time Miriam's been in an Oscar-nominated film. At least
Babe.
like in a lead role.
She's Fly in Babe, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
If anybody wants to check out Two People Exchanging Saliva, it's on YouTube. That's an insane fucking movie. This is actually like, I know it's probably considered the favorite, but even being like a favorite, it's pretty inspired that a movie like that is up for this. It has a lot of insane ideas and a lot of things to say, and the way it says them was very. I didn't know what that movie was, but that sure as shit is not what I expected. So, I'll be curious to see more reactions roll in for that as more people see it.
The live action and animated shorts should be running sometime in February, I would think. And then if it does not fall on the same day as SAG or BAFTA, I should be able to see the documentary shorts over at Enzian before February's over as well.
Interesting little tidbit with the Jane Austen one, in that Emma Thompson joined the project under the title of Executive Menstrual Advisor because she refused a traditional exec producer credit, stating that she preferred not to take a producer title unless she was actually involved in production, because obviously it showed up at film festivals like February 2024, so we're talking nearly 2 years on from when it actually premiered. So it's sort of on that she sort of jumped on the project to some extent in terms of getting, I guess, distribution and whatever.
Ashley went with a friend of Dorothy and got that point. I went with two singers. I got that point, and we all went with Jane Austen and two people exchanging saliva. Everything else was just a crapshoot that we all sucked on.
Although
The
speaking as
well,
well
the
of PTA, I noticed
well
Vicky
before
Krieps is the narrator of two people exchanging saliva. So
yeah, um, the singers just got like a streamer or distributor, didn't it? I was trying to remember who it was
Two, yeah, the singers.
that's putting it out. If we can find that out.
let me quickly see. It'll probably be on their website because they'll be championing it.
So you're telling me I get to see Vicky Creeps twice in a movie this award season?
Well, you'll hear her once.
Yes. I've already seen her once. Now I get to actually hear her as well.
Yeah, the singers was one of those ones where it's I don't know if it was after it got its distributor or what, but like it was one of those ones where as soon as I heard that I was like I should have gone with it.
I don't know what compelled me to go with it. I just did.
It's possibly Mubi.
No.
That sounds about right.
I mean, it's
Moving on.
But then Mubi just sort of just has a lot of sort of things anyway, so yeah, this film's not currently playing on Mubi. It's on there, you know, as a championing independent sort of thing. So I'm not entirely, I don't see anything directly, even on their sort of website. So next, I need to skip the YouTube video. Oh, animated short. Where we have Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters.
I'm so happy about Retirement Plan being here.
Yeah, this one I thought I sucked on this one. Only went with Butterfly. No reason to elaborate. Ashley had 2 out of the 3, 2 out of the 5. Take a shot. And AJ had 3 out of the 5.
It's really funny how psyched I am about Retirement Plan making it when I didn't predict it.
It means I have to watch it, so.
It's narrated by Donald Gleason.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And I described it in our prediction video, but I really loved it.
And Three Sisters, actually, just looking at Wikipedia, comes from the guy who directed Lavatory Love Story back in 2007, and also We Can't Live Without Cosmos from 2015.
No love for Snow Bear. No love for Snow Bear.
Well, I told you it'd be one of the 2 bear ones, and it was
That's
the other.
Go with.
Bry for live action short had Addo, Dad's Not Home, Extremist, and especially Rock Paper Scissors that did get. Oh, it won the BAFTA last year. That's where I remember the name. So Bry only had the singers correct, and then on animated short, Bry had Autocar, Eru, which was from Cartoon Saloon. I Died in Urpan and Snow Bear, and only had Retirement Plan correct. So yeah, Bry getting some ones there on their predictions. Right.
Similar to some of the AJ predictions as well when it came to both of those categories.
Okay, so now we jump to the screenplays. So in adapted, we have Will Tracy's adaptation of Begonia, Del Toro's adaptation of Frankenstein, Zhao and O'Farrell's adaptation of O'Farrell's own work Hamnet, PTA's adaptation of One Battle After Another from Vinland, and Greg Quaidar and Clint Bentley adapting Train Dreams.
So going with Wake Up Dead Man here seemed like a really great idea for a while. But for some reason, there's not enough room for 3 Netflix movies in the Oscar lineup this year. Only 2.
Yeah, my only real takeaway from this was just that the Knives Out streak ends.
Yeah, that
Otherwise,
sucks.
it's pretty much not a surprise in retrospect.
$1,000,000% would have preferred Wake Up Dead Man over Frankenstein all day, every day, especially for screenplay.
It's kind of like the one battle conversation we were having, where even though they're technically adapted because a recurring character, every Knives Out script is technically original, really.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But what are you gonna do?
And then for original, we had Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners.
This is bittersweet
Yeah, very much so.
because I do love Blue Moon a lot, but I really, really, really wanted this for Ava Victor so badly.
It really felt like Secret Agent was locked into this spot at one point, especially when it started to do really well in nomination morning. It was like, wait a minute, Secret Agent's here. And I was like, well, is Weapons actually here or not? I mean, this is when we're going to find out. And then I was like, okay, Blue Moon, that's awesome. So happy to be wrong. It was just an accident. It's not dead after all. It got in a screenplay. So that's a big deal. Marty Supreme was always here. Sentimental Value was always here. And Sinners was always here. So it was just like, we kind of messed up on one. I messed up on 2. But everybody else flipped 1. Well, AJ flipped 1, Ashley flipped 2, and so did I. But
It was just an accident. Also, just makes sense here since quite a few scenes are more or less the camera just sitting completely still, and it's just the dialogue and acting you're just watching with like no other fanfare.
I mean,
And the fact that it's as riveting as it is, just based on that.
just like Jay Kelly, I feel that me seeing It Was Just an Accident is probably not going to happen at this point, unless they want to rush it in theaters for original screenplay and best international feature. Hopefully, I'll get Surratt because of that too. I guess we'll see what happens.
And then moving on, if I get to it. Oh, supporting actor. Del Toro for One Battle After Another, Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners. Damn it. Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value.
See, the fun thing is, AJ always said Delroy Lindo, but never pulled the trigger on it.
Never once. And of course, I'm the person that goes all in on. Even with Boseman and Hopkins there, he should have walked away with a win for the Five Bloods, and I'll stand by that forever. So you really can't kill Paul, as he said in that, though, because now he's finally here. And I think what was really tipping me off was he was doing a lot of those screening panels.
Yeah.
And getting like a lot of love, and it's like you could feel it in the air that the industry really wanted this for him. But the question I ran into, that we had the conversation, it's right here on camera. The only reason I didn't go with him was I didn't know at the expense of who. Because Elordi felt like he crossed the line into safe, and honestly, I thought Mescal was fine, honestly. So
I'm very, very happy that even though I didn't go with it, I did say on here last show that Mescal had a good chance to miss, but I didn't pull the trigger on it, but because I didn't know what would happen in that circumstance. I was shooting for the Andrew Scott nomination, which I still think is going to happen at BAFTA. And I was really, really hoping this Elordi thing would just die off, but I knew that wasn't going to happen either at this point. And Sandler was dead on arrival because they just don't care about Jay Kelly. Yeah. So it just felt like it was safe, but it wasn't, because there was always a fifth one. and it was always under our nose the entire time, and we kept saying it, but no one went with it.
The
He
annoying
was
thing
just
as
he was
well
just
is
waiting.
we might not see like one of his best performances because he was due to play Mr. Nancy and the Nancy Boys, the adaptation of Neil Gaiman's stuff, which obviously because of the Neil Gaiman allegations has never been released. So, and possibly may never. So,
It's left on the cutting room floor with my precious Terrence Howard Charlie Pride movie that I will never see. I'm always going to bring that up.
I'm just glad we at least have it on film. How many times I said Delroy Lindo's waiting. Delroy Lindo's waiting for somebody to fall.
For sure.
Weirdly enough, I feel like the biggest sign was Miles Caton's SAG nomination.
Yeah.
It's like they're just gonna switch them out. The question is, again, at the expense of who? And this time it wasn't Skarsgård, of course.
And apparently, he's also going to be in the next Godzilla Cross Kong movie as well, that they're currently doing. That's supposed to be coming out in about 14 months.
If he's not reprising his role from Congo, I'm not interested.
all it says here is he's a boss of Monarch, so maybe unofficially in some weird parallel universe.
Knock out chat real quick, and then
I
we'll go
still
to the next
find it
one.
weird as well that he's British.
Yeah.
So it was like, wait, oh wait, he was actually born in Lewisham. There we go. Bry was perfect for adapted and had Sorry Baby over Blue Moon in the original. Way to go, Julia Roberts, you ruined it.
I do wonder, because we're talking about all the craziness we witness.
Mm.
I'm curious how much of these results have to do with the really fucking small voting window.
Yeah.
And what would be different if they had, like, a week or two.
Now you mention Wake Up Dead Man, I can watch it this weekend along with Wicked for Good now that it got shot out.
I'm very happy I got to see that movie theatrically, Brian. There's not many people I know that have.
I'll say this, Josie, but I think we'll get to it when we get to talking Best Picture, in 17 hours' time. What we think number 11 was in Best Picture. We'll get to that. Bry says, I'll also be watching, says I haven't watched sequels or remakes to previous nominated films. Will be the remakes of Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. Not looking forward to the remakes. Surprisingly, both... Lilo makes some adjustments somewhat to the plot.
There's a lot of purists that love the original that were not a big fan of some of the changes. But I overall had no problems with Lilo and Stitch.
How to Train Your Dragons was way more subtle. I mean, it wasn't a bloody Gus Van Sant, psycho shot-for-shot remake sort of thing, but it had the right spirit.
I just laughed there because I was just for a split second I had to imagine Gus Van Sant's How to Train Your Dragon, and that was really weird.
I wonder if I would have liked it if it was a thing.
Josie saying it was probably either it was just an accident or Blue Moon, but again we'll get to that. Bryce said supporting actor had Paul Mescal over Delroy Lindo. Yeah.
We all did, Brian. We all did.
We're gonna next time we do this next season, all season we're gonna be saying it's not as easy as it sounds. It's definitely not.
That's our broken record comment for next season already. You can just pencil it in at this moment.
And what's annoying is we already say it every year.
Yeah.
And we still
we say it in August. We say it in August.
It's new. I should have bumped somebody for Lindo. I just could not move.
Same with Masaku.
Yeah, this is an interesting one from Josie, which, again, because I can't remember whether Train Dreams has come out or if it has, it's just never got round to where I am. AJ, besides Terrence Malick's works, which movies do you think could pair well with Train Dreams as like a double feature or something?
You know what I did? Anything existential. You know what? I'm not saying this necessarily works. I'm just saying I did a double feature with Train Dreams a few weeks ago by accident that really went well because I was watching this year's movies. So like I said, I'm not necessarily recommending this for like a thing, but I accidentally had the double feature of Train Dreams and The Life of Chuck, and it's that took me to this existential place. As far as something, I'll have to get back to you on that probably. I know there's a really good answer I haven't thought of yet.
Not
Unless
you.
something changes, March 12th, I will know.
Josie also says not due to plot or theme, but I think Shallow Grave could pair well with Begonia stylistically. What I found interesting is Save the Green Planet. I think is like Arrow. I think is doing a 4K or whatever. They didn't reference Begonia in it at all, and despite the ending being relatively similar, I can kind of understand that because I don't think any stupid martial arts crap happened in Begonia.
Well, on the topic of Begonia and Save the Green Planet, there is a wonderful Begonia panel with Lanthimos, Will Tracy, Stone, and Plemons that's moderated by Nathan Fielder.
Oh god.
I highly recommend that. He basically tries to get Lanthimos to admit the whole time that Save the Green Planet sucks.
Nice.
Shots fired. Right, then I need to skip over the break. Why is the break going on so long? Damn it. Alright, yeah.
I think I feel I had to fill dead air.
Oh yeah, and then
I
we
had to stay
switched
entertaining
to
through 2 minutes.
we switched to the new one. To casting.
Yeah.
Where we have Nina Gold for Hamnet, Jennifer Venditti for Marty Supreme, Cassandra Kulakundis for One Battle After Another, Gabriel Dominguez for Secret Agent, and Francine Mazer for Sinners.
The
I guess if we're being real, what this is going to come down to is when we're predicting whoever wins this, we're just going to be fucking guessing
mm-hmm.
because we don't know what the process is. I feel like the one that sticks out is the secret agent, so that's probably what I'm going to end up saying.
The fact that now that obviously at other things casting is being considered ensemble as well, it's like, is that what it is, or is it actually going to be, either crediting getting the right big name actors into the roles or discovering the new talent sort of thing? That's where the precedent will be set, at least with Oscars this year, because I feel it's been somewhat of a mix of the two with BAFTA over the past 3 or 4 years since they've been having it. Because I don't think, I'm trying to remember, I think Personal History of David Copperfield won it back a few years back, didn't it?
He was in there somewhere, I'm not sure.
Let me see if
Were you
I
about to say
can
something
find it
else?
briefly.
All I can say is Penn Jillette is involved in an Oscar-nominated movie, and Frankenstein didn't get in the casting. Even though that means Christoph Waltz would have been another nominated person.
Okay, yeah. So the list.
Because I don't think Dracula is going to do anything when it comes out, but it might be fun.
The list of winners for BAFTA since they introduced it for, I guess, 2020, if we're reflecting, the previous year. Joker, Rocks, West Side Story, Elvis, The Holdovers, and Name Redacted.
Oh God, that's such a broad based lineup of movies.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
with the sort of cast that you would need to have for something like West Side Story, that feels like it's getting all the right roles. But with Rocks, it's like getting the right kids and get Bookie Bakray that got her the BAFTA nomination as well. Um, but the problem is like with with Elvis and Name Redacted, those people arguably got found by Tarantino's casting director. Arguably, that's when they sort of came to fruition. Holdovers kind of make sense because of I don't think Divine Joy Randolph had made any, and certainly Dominic Sessa as well.
Except for,
Divine Joy Randolph, I think, got kind of discovered through Dolomite.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's interesting about this bunch is I do really think it's just a guess because you could say the person that found Chase Infinity has all the bragging rights.
Sure,
You could say the person that found Miles Caton has all the bragging rights.
right.
Or you could say all of the stunt casting in Marty Supreme. Between O'Leary, Ferrara, and Tyler the Creator, like Penn Jillette, like what, like how does that cast work as well as it does?
The shark from Shark Tank's a vampire. Um.
And the secret agent's the same way as well. I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of blend into the background that are exceedingly important to the story, especially as Wagner Mora goes from kind of persona to persona, because literally the title of the movie, but without giving anything away. So yeah, it belongs here too. But we didn't have anything to judge this on, so it was kind of like, all right, let's take a stab in the dark and see what happens. AJ got Hamnet right, and then we all just like, well, it could go this way, it could go this way, and let's go Frankenstein because they really like it. I was like, well, maybe they didn't like it as much as people thought they did.
I'm just obsessed with between the dupes in Hamnet who was cast first.
That's a
It
good question.
I imagine it would have had to have been Jacoby.
I would say so.
And then the choice was made of, well, it would be brilliant, and it is let's put Noah here. I'm still
Right.
not. I still love that so much. I know it seems like it should be easy, but I'm still not over how amazing I think that is.
I was still hoping for Weapons here. But by
Yeah.
this time of the day, I realized that Weapons was not going to do nearly anything that I said it was going to do. And I was pretty much already defeated at this point. So,
Well, the big get in weapons would have been Kerry Christopher, but he's already in. Is it Days of Our Lives? I think he
I
has like a
believe,
major part on. So he was already out there,
sure.
but yeah.
Then yeah, costume design. We have Avatar, Fire and Ass, Frankenstein,
No one went.
Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners.
I think they could have gone more inspired here. I feel like I feel that way a lot about costume design.
Sure.
Like, honestly, what I wouldn't have minded seeing here, besides the ugly stepsister,
Sure.
Kiss the Spider Woman, I feel like actually would have
You
been
know,
nice.
it wasn't impossible. Honestly, it really wasn't.
Kiss the Spider Woman also. Say what you will about the movie itself, but production design would have been really good for it too.
Certainly.
But I also understand that it disappeared.
I mean, again, my albatross here, just like before, was going for Wicked over Avatar, and otherwise, I would have had a 5 on this one because somehow, some way, I was able to pull the rest of the lineup out. Well, you guys only got 3.
What's also crazy is there's so many industry people that rave about Wicked. I'm so curious what happened.
Yeah.
off at the very last. Who knows if it was the last minute or if this is something that's always been brewing that we just didn't know about.
Speaking of,
We, again, now that we know the truth, what happens when you put two movies one after another of something that should only have been one, and we know what happens for the second movie, which everybody was very lukewarm on. If there would have only been one Wicked movie, would we still be talking about it as missing as much as it did? I believe honestly not.
I probably would have just done the quality of the first movie.
I would say so. Maybe a couple things here and there that would have shocked people back in the day.
I mean, if the aim of Universal was for it to sort of try and get nominations sort of both years, whether this will now like put precedent on if people are thinking of like splitting it into two, maybe sort of switching back to some extent.
We shut it down. We only need one.
Anyway, so yeah, speaking of Wicked.
I mean, they still made the money, so probably not. But
For sure.
Speaking of Wicked, to original song.
Where
we have Dear Me from Diane motherfucking Warren Relentless.
Dear God, never ever doubt Diane Warren. Seriously. You know what happens when you doubt Diane Warren? You lose a point. Every year.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, I feel that, like, that track is kind of one of her... Considering, like, some of the material she's done for the past however many years, it's actually a decent song.
This means that Kesha is now an Oscar nominee, correct?
I think she's just a performer.
Sort of.
I don't know how
I think
works.
It's only whoever does the music and the lyrics that gets the actual award. So technically...
Technically no, then.
EJ, who does do the singing for K-pop Demon Hunters for Golden,
right.
She will, so... Miles will not for I Lie to You from Sinners, because that was Raphael Sadiq and Ludwig Göransson doing the music and lyrics.
Right.
If Last Time I Seen the Sun had been nominated, Caton would have been.
Yeah.
Right.
Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi, which is a documentary.
There's always
a documentary
one.
with a random song at the end that the guy wrote and some Filipino soprano singer sang. So that's why I say Diane Warren just got Diane Warren. Because it's the random song that makes no sense from a movie that nobody's seen.
So what we're saying is it's finally been accepted that Diane Warren's just a staple. Like, it's not even the weird choice now.
No. If you don't go with Diane Warren on Oscar nomination morning, you don't pay attention to anything of previous years.
And then Train Dreams from at least sung and co-written music-wise by Nick Cave, so...
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. You see, the funny thing is that I thought that this would need Drive to get nominated to do more for F1 to propel it to getting in the picture, but it didn't need Song to get in the picture as we're getting ahead of ourselves. And we all went with Girl in the Bubble, but they don't like Wicked. No, take that back. They don't like Wicked for good. Everyone loves Wicked.
Apparently.
However, they just don't like the fact that Wicked for Good exists. If Wicked just existed on its own, it would have been just fine. Wicked for Good? No, not so much. And these are fans. These are marks of the property that have watched the Broadway show on Broadway, off Broadway, seeing it in some random high school, like, that really love the property. They wear the merch and everything. And it's like, nah, bro, we're not gonna go for this one. It's okay. We don't need another Wicked movie. We know how this ends.
Well, now I'm thinking about the fact that if Wicked had just ended where Wicked ends, the only thing we'd have as a follow up is The Wizard of Oz. So it's like there's no redemption arc. She just went straight evil.
Greatest heel turn of all time. That's like Maleficent all over again.
Quickly going through this chat here. Bryce saying, of course, prior to the marathon, I've got to watch Save the Green Planet. Casting, I had Frankenstein over Secret Agent.
Yeah.
Josie saying, fun fact, Renate Rensiv is dating Ingmar Bergman's and Liv Ullmann's grandson, Half Dan Ullmann Tondel.
All right.
Bryce saying, how well it redeemed today, surprising sentimental value, didn't make it for casting.
Same,
also saying,
honestly.
Life of Chuck becomes the first film since Where Do We Go Now from 2011 to get People's Choice at TIFF and then get nothing at the Oscars.
Thanks, Neon.
You don't like Neon.
And it was just an accident becomes the first film since Titan to win the Palme d'Or to not get a Best Picture nod, and since Shoplifters to win the Palme, not get Best Picture, but also get still nominated for something.
It was just an accident and had such a tremendously back and forth trajectory during this entire award season. That movie was going to be like gunning for Best Picture at one point. I had Panahi for like forever in a day. And then it's like, okay, it's getting screenplay and international feature. Who would have that on their bucket list?
Costume designer had Wicked for Good and Ugly Stepsister. Thanks, AJ.
Nice.
Over Marty Supreme and Avatar. And Bry is kind of. I think it might have been reflected in my live reactions. When they said Avatar for costume, I said, "Excuse me."
I think that's when I was awkwardly trying to find both of
instead.
I was trying to awkwardly on camera find which one, because I was like moving back and forth trying to figure out where the category was, and I was like, I can't find this. Okay, I'm just gonna write it down later. And I was like, wait a minute, they said Avatar for costume design? Oh, why? I will never see that movie, and I still don't understand why.
For original song, Bry had Go in the Bubble over Sweet Dreams of Joy. Bry also says it's also surprising that because of what happened with, what we're about to mention, I think, yeah.
Yeah. With the getting a nomination for another category.
Sour Then Sweet from Come See Me in the Good Light didn't get in. Then again, I guess that was Veni Vidi Vici Versi.
Again, that was my shot in the dark for Drive. And AJ, of course, like I mentioned before, already mentioned a documentary getting in that 5th slot. This went with the wrong one, even though he didn't predict it.
So yeah, documentary, we have Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor.
I saw 3 of these, and even though I didn't go for it, I'm really glad Come See Me in the Good Light is here. That also means Oscar nominee Tig Notaro, doesn't it?
Yep.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's very true.
That's interesting.
And
nice.
Also, I'm trying to think back. I swear it got some sort of Oscar recognition. Yeah. Andrew Jarecki makes his first return, at least for documentary feature, I think, since Capturing the Freedmans. Yeah, because he was just producer on Catfish. And of course, was behind the infamous stuff in The Jinx and Robert Durst and all that.
I'll give kudos to Ashley for being able to get 3 out of the 5 here.
I just wanted to give the main shout out I wanted to give was, as somebody that's like constantly afraid of death at all times, um, her poetry in "Come See Me in the Good Light" is really powerful, especially when you know the context and where it's coming from and where she is in her life at that point. Um, yeah, I really like that lineup, and I'm really glad that we don't have to worry about seeing the 5.5 hour one if you're one of the try to watch all the nominees people.
The the Mr. Nobody against Putin is sort of fascinating. That it's kind of, as a documentary should be. It's basically how, given the Russian invasion of Ukraine, like, schools have to do patriotic displays and basically do a statewide curriculum to justify the invasion to students. Except because it's Russia, they wanted it all filmed and uploaded to some private sort of like server thing to like check that everything was happening. And over the course of the filming, because I guess they were sort of filming it there anyway to some extent, but when the filmmakers and everything sort of got evidence that they were basically had secret surveillance in the house, um, they they Navalny'd him and got him the hell out of Russia. Hopefully he doesn't get, captured back, sort of thing like happened with Navalny. But in that respect, it's a sort of fascinating thing. Um, I think they're sort of trying to work out. It's one of the few that's nominees to be determined because it is technically a BBC co-production, hence why it was part of Storyville and they put it on as early as they did. But I wouldn't be surprised if that now gets weirdly put in the schedules in the next 2 or 3 weeks again to get reshown.
Well, while we're on the topic, that brings up the kind of surprising snub of 2,000 meters to Andreevka,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been a great choice because that's one that's like
There's always
that one,
one.
that one really puts you in the middle of it in a way that's really unfathomable how right in it they were. But
There's always
yeah,
one major snub in documentary, and that's it.
To some
with my
extent,
undesirable
cover up
friends,
as
I'd go
well.
too.
To some extent, cover up.
Yeah,
Yeah, we all went with cover up as well.
Because cover up did. I mean, okay, it was like a couple of months back, but it was nominated alongside Perfect Neighbor in the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, because of course they do it separately. Why would that not be, an obvious thing? But yeah, it got in DGA. Um, it got in PGA. We don't know if it got in WGA yet because we'll have to wait. So arguably,
Probably.
to some extent, there's two actual big hitters that sort of missed out there. Cover Up probably more so because it has the precedence of DGA and PGA, whereas uh, 2,000 kilometers. It was that. Hang on, go back. No, 2,000 meters missed both PGA and DGA. So if anything, Cover Up might be the sort of the one that the high profile miss considering what it's had previously.
well, I guess the conclusion that can be drawn here is, um, even though the perfect neighbor seems like it would be a front runner, I think this is anybody's game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Especially the one that none of us had, Cutting Through Rocks,
Yeah.
is a directorial debut as well, and following an Iranian woman and the first Iranian woman elected as a councilwoman in a rural village. Um, so yes, then if I skip forward, yeah, to documentary short we go. Oh, that's interesting. So for documentary short, we have All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera of the Life and Death of Brent Renault, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly a Strangeness. The reason I say it's interesting is Gita Gambia one of the producers on Perfect Neighbor, is a producer on Devil is Busy as well. So she got 2 nominations in one day as well.
HBO did very well here too with that I was busy and Armed Woman with a Camera. I assume they
And
go one or the other.
and combined, we all were able to get the 5. It's just not all
Yeah, but
together,
let's be honest.
not individual.
The critical one got in. Never doubt the fucking donkeys.
I should have went with Children No More, and I would have had a 5 on that.
Perfectly a Strangeness makes it in. The donkeys are represented once again. Yes. I don't care. I'm probably gonna. I'll say it now. I'm just gonna say that's gonna win. If it doesn't, I don't care. If it does, the power of the. It's not the power of the dog. It's the power of the donkey. That's gonna be my meme. You guys have had yours with Fire and Ass and the Christmas Club Christmas card and all that. Me, bloody power of the donkey.
My God.
Next up, international feature, where they did it as I expected in the foreign in the country order, which is where we can be boring. Because one of the
Yep.
few where we just got all 5 and it was that sort of easy.
Yeah. So a lot of people really seem to be upset that no other choice is in here.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, before I saw the movie on Friday, the voice of Henry Job seemed to be the 5th slot, and it made the most sense in my head. And I don't know why or what compelled me to pick it, but we all went with it because all the 4 seemed to be locked. It was just what was that 5th slot, and it really was that easy.
I just want to shout out. We've kind of talked about the others, but I want to shout out that I saw Sarad recently, and it's great. And
Ooh,
voice of and the voice of Henry Jaw. Not only is the voice of Henry Jaw incredible, but when we do if we pick the winners and nominees thing in a month and a half or so, you're probably gonna hear me talk more about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The acting, the acting and the direction in that is like,
Especially considering the sort of the real life subject matter with it.
yeah, and the use of the real phone call. It's like United '93 if we never cut to the is what it is.
Yeah.
Kind of.
The fact that I saw, it probably is reflected in the movie because I haven't yet seen it yet because I think it's supposed to be coming out in a few weeks. The one bit apparently where they like, why aren't you talking? And she's like, there's blood coming out of my mouth and I don't want to get my clothes dirty.
Yeah,
It's you know, it's the powerful nature of like the actual sort of call. And
they say like when the call starts, text comes up on the screen that says this is the real call.
yeah.
Like, and they even give you the name of like the voice, the audio file as they come up.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a lot, but it's fucking powerful.
Because the key thing is,
And
although it's a
and again,
Tunisian production, it's really the only one that it's the only one of the films, at least that I'm aware of, not knowing enough of the other documentary shorts and whatever, or the live action shorts, because this, it's because it's sort of docudrama, because it's not, you know, it's not actual footage of the people reacting to the call. I think it's the only one that has the subject matter of the Israel-Palestine disagreement. That's that the political way
There
of
were
saying it?
there was a lot of stuff shortlisted, but I think it's the only one that's
Yeah.
nominated.
Then.
And I guess it goes without saying, despite my praise, I never want to see.
Then the boringly safe animated feature in the reveal of Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, and Zootopia 2.
It just seemed like they would be a little bit more inspired, but it was the obvious choice the whole time, and AJ's the only one who went with it. Means I've seen 2 of those now.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really have anything to add to this conversation.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed that like one like no other animation studios could even sort of like major ones could bother to make it in here. That Disney just gets 2 just because one is Disney in house and the other is Pixar. Where I wouldn't say it's. I don't think it's the worst Pixar thing because. Oh, I'm trying to think.
I mean, Cars 2 exists.
Yeah,
Cars
but
in
I'm
general.
talking like the original stuff. Like, I didn't really, I didn't really click with Elemental. More
I
so.
loved it.
And to some extent, Onward.
I never saw Onward because it came out in that time frame that I wasn't watching anything.
Was the good dinosaur Pixar or
Yeah.
Disney animation? Yeah, that's the good dinosaur. The good dinosaur is weirdly generic for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the
To
issue
the point
that
that
had is it
I
was
have
the same. The problem with that is it came out the same year as Inside Out. That was the first time that you had 2 Pixar films the same year. Whether that's because Inside Out got staggered from 2014, I don't know. But
the
then
good
you
dinosaur
had,
came out.
yeah, looking at what I just brought it up on Wikipedia. Yeah, Cars 3 and Coco were both 2017. Onward and Soul were both 2020. And then Turning Red and Lightyear were both 2022. And we're getting it, obviously, coming up. Because Hoppers is coming, I want to say, like March-ish.
Something like
I
that.
think Toy Story's going in its usual slot, sort of June, July-ish.
Around that time.
I know The Good Dinosaur is 2015 because it came out with Creed, and I don't know why the fuck I remember that.
It did. We've talked way too much about this category.
Briefly going over some of the other stuff in chat. I was thinking back for costume design if they were going to go out of nowhere nod before it was Avatar. I didn't predict it, but I thought it would have been Snow White. There's a potential, yeah.
The Maleficent spot, yeah, possibly.
Looking at the text, Avatar Fire and Ass is my bonus film in the text for my marathon this year. Brian documentary had Apocalypse in the Tropics, My Undesirable Friends Part 1, and 2,000 Meters to Andrivka. Over Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, and Mr. Nobody Against Putin. And Perfect Neighbor, the front runner, does make it in. Bryce says, cutting through rocks, I predict probably because the subject matter of women in Iran made sense. And with the protests last week during the voting period, probably helped its chance to get nominated. I mean, maybe. Documentary short had All the Walls Came Down, Classroom Foreman on Healing Lands. Birds Preach, I got 2. In total, I went 11 from 15 last year to 4 in 15 this year. In the shorts. Perfect international animated features. Bryce says that's what you get, Park Chan-wook, for writing during the strikes. Okay.
I'm the wrong person to ask about No Other Choice.
With her having a track record, The Man Who Sold His Skin, Four Daughters, and Voice of Him Rajab, the next movie she does, Kalta Ben Harina, could be on the road to Best Picture and Director, possibly.
Could happen.
And Bry saying after she got a Razzie nod yesterday for Fountain of Youth, Natalie Portman gets an Oscar for Arco as well, could be obviously one of the producers on it. Which
Go
is,
see Eddie Murphy all
which I
over
believe
again.
is the first time an actor who is a director or a producer gets nominated for animated feature.
Hmm.
And she's also a voice in the English dub. I see. And then production design, where we have Frankenstein, Hamnet, Mighty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners.
I should never went with Wicked again.
Let's talk about this one battle nomination here.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What do we think it is?
I mean, I
I've gone on record
semi
many
called
times.
it, didn't I? Because that the car chase scene, getting the production design for that, maybe.
I'm pretty, I'm pretty sure PTA has said the question he gets the most about the movie is where the fuck did you find that road? I am not embarrassed to have gone with Fantastic Four.
You shouldn't be.
Fantastic Four checks a lot of boxes. We usually have a sci-fi spot, and we usually have a period spot. It's sci-fi and period, so I'm not ashamed.
No, and considering like some of the other recognition it got from the production design guilds and everything, and set decorators, it was one that was prominent enough in there that it could have been.
But yeah, I'm really. Yeah, I love that. This is kind of was something I was excited to talk about because I was like, let's talk about how one battle pulled this off. Like, what would it be? And we're all just kind of like, I don't know.
Just genuinely don't know.
Like I was saying before, I genuinely do not know what is covered under production design. I've not been very good about coming up with tech reasons throughout the years, and I probably never will be. But
What I remember hearing once is production design is more or less anything you see on screen that's not an actor or a costume.
it's 1,000,000% the road then, sure.
Well, there's Benisso's whole underground thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The apartment building and the store and all that, and everything in the background's like really busy set wise. I wouldn't say the Christmas Adventurers offices are pretty much just offices.
Generic offices. Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of like long hallways and tunnel stuff. I just genuinely don't know though.
Then another interesting one, at least, because the way they presented it was like, oh wait, they realised that sound editing and cinematography are key to films, so that they were the last ones before we got to like the big four, at least as they present them as usual with the Oscar nominations day. So for editing, we have F1, because apparently it's not F1 the movie now. Like, it's changed its name. Mighty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners.
Sentimental value is obviously the big conversation here.
Yeah.
The thing is that in retrospect, it makes sense.
It totally does.
But I can't imagine anybody saw it coming.
No.
It's just one of those things of this shows you how fucking well Sentimental Value did and how beloved it is.
Then moving into... oh, go ahead.
What did we miss?
I was about ready to say it, actually. You went with Begonia.
Yeah.
Ashley went with Frankenstein, and I went with my shot in the dark for weapons.
Begonia and weapons would have been a great choice. But I'm not mad about sentimental value being here. It's because it's so
Not
like
at all.
it's like I get it. Interestingly.
It makes sense after you have the complete puzzle.
Yeah.
As the events were starting to unfold in front of our eyes, it started to become a little bit more apparent that editing was going to be a nomination it was going to get. And by that time, weapons was already not happening at this point for me anyway, so I should have just been just like tucked my tail between my legs and walked away.
I'm glad people had like hope for it to do other things. I'm also glad I was right that it only got Madigan, but I would have loved to have seen it. I loved the idea that it got as far as it did.
It's still Oscar nominated, regardless what anybody says, and nothing will ever take that away.
And to get to the PGA nomination and all that. I love how you could tell where this season was headed because can't remember if it was Kevin McCarthy or Josh Horowitz, but somebody interviewed Zach Kreger for like an hour. And the entire last 15 minutes of the interview is just them raving about one battle after another.
That checks out.
He brought it up as an example of how because they both weapons and one battle used the camera on the door technique.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about that, and Craig was just like, "Oh my god, I could go all day about one battle after another." And then it got to where they had like 10 minutes left, and he's like, "I just want to geek out with you about one battle after another." And Craig was basically like, "Let's go," and they just talked about all they talked about was one battle after another for 10 minutes. It was amazing.
Cass disappeared in chat. Price says, for production design, I had Begonia and Wicked for good over Mighty Supreme one battle after another. In film editing, I had Begonia over Sentimental Value. And speaking of weapons, I didn't predict Madigan until the very final predictions. You got lucky, Brian.
I didn't want to believe that Madigan wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I was scared.
I completely understand why you were scared.
Honest to God, I was scared.
Alright, so for
some year when you get to my reaction video, you'll see that I was excited when I knew it was going to happen, but I still was nervous.
For sound, we have F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat.
Sirat I should have known just by the trailer alone Sirat was in it. Honestly.
Yeah, before I saw it, I had no idea just how much of a part sound played.
It's in the trailer, too, so I can only imagine what the actual movie's about.
I didn't know it was about, like, the rave scene to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way... It's not necessarily about the rave scene. It's like a shared family kind of thing, which is kind of in that rave area. But the way the rave theme comes back into play is unexpected.
It's that thing again. I should not have went with Wicked.
Yep.
Just like AJ should never went with Avatar. And Ashley never should have went with Mission Impossible.
Hey, you know.
I would like
but to be fair, both were valid options.
Yeah, I would like to think somewhere everybody doing this got fucked by Wicked at some point.
I'm sure of it.
And then...
Anybody that came out of this saying they have a perfect score is lying their ass off.
We can now officially say that Diane Warren did better than Tom Cruise. Because she got an honorary Oscar, and in the same cycle, she got an Oscar nomination the same time. Tom
All right, Inaritu. Your job is to get Tom Cruise an Oscar nomination. Let's go.
To be fair, Tom Cruise, in a very positive way, is name dropped in the future Best Picture winner. So, I believe the line is "No fear," like Tom fucking Cruise, not Benicio's line.
Yes, exactly.
You can say that all you want. The only Tom Cruise reference I will get is, "You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby." Have it down, Chris.
Use your witchcraft.
Yeah.
Always good Talladega Nights references. You ain't first, you're last.
I can't believe Talladega Nights is 20 years old this year, and that line's still that funny.
That movie's still that funny.
That means Stranger Than Fiction and Talladega Nights both came out the same year.
They did.
Yep.
I a million percent put up both. I remember distinctly putting up both Mylars in front of their auditoriums.
I don't know why, but the very next line that occurred to me was, "We'll use this knife to pry it out."
Like I said, in Teresa, you have one job: get Tom Cruise an Oscar nomination. Let's go.
Next, a special.
Digger looks fun just by trailer alone.
Next, the special visual effects, where we have Avatar: Fire and Ass, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners.
Kudos to AJ on this one, 100%.
I went against F1 though, didn't I?
Yeah.
That is the only thing you went against.
Yeah.
Where Ashley went for Superman, and of course, as mentioned before, I went for Wicked, but also went for Frankenstein, which I'm happy did not get into visual effects.
Yeah, Frankenstein's where I slipped up, and I almost didn't go Frankenstein, but I didn't know what else to go with, so I just did.
The Lost Bus seems like a Hail Mary, but you guys both went with it, and I was like, oh, what is this thing?
The Lost
Yeah,
Bus, as they say, The Lost Bus is the little film that's got such, special effects that don't deserve to be in something that's that scale, basically.
I mean, just name alone, without knowing anything about the Lost Bus, I should have been like, oh, it reminds me of Desert Bus, the Penn and Teller reference, the game within a game that never got released, but got released, and they still do marathons for it to this day.
Let me just quickly set the scene for you. It's Matthew McConaughey and America Ferrera in a school bus full of children, and they're trapped in a wildfire, and it's directed by Paul Greengrass.
Why do I not know about the existence of this movie? You know what I enjoy.
It was.
Why
it
do
was a
I not
select.
know about
It was a select theaters in mid-September, so you were probably busy.
No, 1,000,000% it never came here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. You know what it is? It's a fucking Apple movie. That's why.
That's that probably is why.
No, it's F1.
Yeah, but
they learned their lesson.
But
didn't realize that.
Paul
Jamie Lee Curtis produced it.
Yeah.
Coda being the Ricardos, completely different circumstances.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, Paul Greengrass and McConaughey in a wildfire is a magnificent combination.
Yeah,
it's not Joseph Kosinski coming off Top Gun Maverick directing Brad Pitt actually racing fucking cars.
And I'm an America Ferrera mark, so it's just like, how is this never brought to my attention? I definitely would have went with it if I knew better. And Mission Impossible seems like a stab in the dark, but really, if you think about it, not really, because the sound of Mission Impossible was fantastic, especially when I saw it in digital.
Yeah. Well, I just went straight to silence. Where are we?
Well, we already did the sound. Come on. I was just trying to cue it up. Next, we go to cinematography, where it's Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
This was an obvious answer for all of us. We all went 5 for 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking I missed one. I'm glad to learn I didn't.
I 1,000,000% say you didn't because I have it right in front of me.
Nice.
And then to the 4. Best actor was Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawke, Jordan, and Moore.
Yeah, I feel like I need to just reiterate real quick, because I was talking up Clemens and I was talking up Edgerton.
Sure.
again, this sometimes gets wrapped up in predictions. We tend to forget. Um, Ethan Hawke is one of my favorite actors, and I
Right.
love this movie, and I love him in it. I love anything he does with Linklater. I love that they're already making another one.
Yes.
Um, I don't want the fact that I wasn't predicting him to drown out the fact of how fucking psyched I am about this. I love this. I just would have also loved Edgerton specific. I would have loved. I love Plemons, but I would have loved Plemons more for my predictions. Edgerton is something I really wanted, but obviously I'm perfectly ecstatic that Hawk is here, and that Jordan was one I wanted the most. So I'm pretty.
So
happy.
that answers the question right now. That if you had gun to your head, had to take out either Ethan Hawke or Wagner Moura, and the fact you haven't seen Secret Agent makes it difficult.
Correct.
For Joel Edgerton's performance in Train Dreams, right now, which one would be the answer you would go with?
Hot take. I'd take out Chalamet.
You know, honestly, I'm not necessarily surprised you went that route because, like you said before, you're really playing on the fact he's getting very overbearing with the Andy Kaufman bit at this point.
Well, for me, it's and before anybody gets confused, we're talking about my personal opinion.
Yes, his personal opinion.
I think Chalamet's winning the whole fucking thing.
Oh God, yes, absolutely.
If it was my choice, blind to the Secret Agent, I really like Marty Supreme a lot.
Yeah,
I like Chalamet a lot.
Same.
Yeah, I talk a lot of shit about A Complete Unknown. I don't like A Complete Unknown. I don't like Wonka, but I fucking loved him in Call Me by Your Name. I fucking love Bones and All.
Yes.
Beautiful Boy. I consider myself a Chalamet fan. Dune, obviously.
Sure, of course.
Fucking book right here.
Goes without saying.
So yeah, I'm a big, huge Chalamet fan and supporter. With that said, there's performances I love more than his. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and one of them is in this category as well.
Crazy thing as well is that is Ethan's 5th Oscar nomination.
Yes, it is. It's his third one for
sadly,
acting.
only his first as lead actor. The
oh my God, it
being
is
supporting actor.
Yeah.
And obviously, the 2 screenplay nods for the before.
Right.
Films.
I love that he finally got his first leading nomination. Also, you have to point out one of the most leading supporting performances of all time is one of his nominations for Training Day.
True. Yeah.
There is only one scene in Training Day that does not have him in it. When Denzel meets the wise man. Otherwise, he's in the entire movie. He's in it more than Denzel is. But yeah, the Ethan Hawke fan in me is fucking stoked.
I love this lineup so much. I love every one of these performances in one way, shape, or form.
It's like we've been saying, this was always going to be a great lineup, regardless of who made it.
Certainly.
In lead actress, we have Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Renate Runcev for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia.
I'm so happy. So happy. It sucks what happened because of people finally started to listen to AJ. Because they should. Because even though I was only predicting it really because I thought that that's the only way it's happening because it's not going to happen in supporting, so might as well run her for leading. But I'm telling you, when I started to see Kate Hudson getting nominated over and over and over and over again for Songs on Blue, I was so happy. And I was like, she's getting nominated, and a lot of people are not going to think this is going to happen. Lots of things I've seen today tell me that I am correct. A lot of people didn't think Kate Hudson was going to get nominated. And I'm very happy I stuck to my guns about this performance. Very well deserved.
Now I'm willing to let this go because I did change my mind at the end there. But I would just like to note a while back when I was arguing that Chase Infinity was not leading and they would see it that way eventually.
Certainly.
What I said was, if Chase Infinity doesn't make it into supporting, she doesn't make it at all.
Exactly.
The scoffing I heard when I said that.
You're right. Let's give credit where credit's due.
Mind you, we don't know that was the reason,
No.
but we can have our own theories, and I think I have mine.
Just like how Fox Searchlight killed Amanda Seyfried's chances.
What the fuck even happened to Amley?
I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow.
I don't think it. I know the industry sees movies differently than we do,
Sure.
but I still feel like its non-existent release had to have something to do with it.
Like I said, Fox Searchlight has a major like pin in the story of Anne Lee. And it just made sense at the time that this was going to be the lineup, and Renata Rensva getting in was always going to happen. I was not anticipating Chase Infinity was the one they would take out for Kate Hudson. So again, until the gremlins on TikTok took it away from me, why not both? Literally, why not both?
Did SAG get into your head with Renata Rensva?
I think I wanted Kate Hudson in here so bad that I was never going to budge on that. And that obviously let my personal bias get into the way, which happens a lot with me, as you guys and girls know that have been watching me for years. But the thing about it is like, I wasn't budging on Emma Stone until Begonia got all the love. And then I was like, all right, fine, I'll finally nominate her. And then it was like, well, what can I do? I'd have to bump someone out. And I looked and I saw everybody. I was like, oh, everybody seems to be locked. I can't really go with it. So at the last minute, Rensva got bumped for Chase Infinity, and I kept Kate Hudson. And all along, I was thinking maybe I was going to be wrong, but I was wrong for the different reason. I was wrong for the reason that we have been alluding to all season, AJ especially, that Kate Hudson was always in this, which I was very happy to be correct about, but Chase Infinity wasn't. So, why not both happened, but at the expense of my perfect score for this category. But yes, Rose Byrne is an Oscar-nominated actress as well this year, which makes me also happy.
And Jesse.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you know, it's a. I might as well bring it up here, you know, because the fact that 11 out of the 20 are first-time nominees. It's good to see we're actually sort of spreading the love again. It isn't just, you know, the same names.
I mean, I am very intrigued to see Maggie Gyllenhaal's Joker coming out in theaters. I mean, let's just call it right now. I mean, at this point, unless something drastic happens, Jessie Buckley has no competition.
The only way I think Rose Byrne would have been competition is if I Had Legs I'd Kick You took that 5th screenplay slot.
That would have been a good chance.
As is, yeah.
You've got such a powerful. I mean, I bag on it all the time, but you have such an extremely powerful performance from Jessie Buckley in a movie that didn't necessarily perform as well as people thought it would, and back when we started here, but did okay for itself by and large. Versus a performance that is so like unique and unnerving that you don't necessarily want to watch it again, but it's like a car crash. You just kind of have to. And there's no comparison here. It's just like, it's hard to watch Rose Byrne's performance because it's designed to be like that. So case in point. So at my office, there is a whiteboard in our office for both departments. Each day they put up a song of the day. Since we're all Taylor fans, there's a Taylor Swift song of the day and then a movie of the day. So one day, somebody in their infinite wisdom wrote, "If I had legs, I'd kick you." So I wait till the person leaves. I was like, all right, who put this on the board? And they was like, oh, I did it. I was like, you really want to put people into that blind without knowing what they're getting themselves into? That's evil. Really evil.
Just to reiterate you saying we're all Taylor fans, I could probably name like 2 of her songs. but I know
I'm
you
not
meant
talking about us. I'm talking about in the
the
office.
royal we.
I'm talking about in the office.
Okay, okay.
Us in the office. Not
I got
us as
royal.
him.
I
No,
mean,
as him. I know
I
I'm on
don't.
an island by myself.
I mean, I don't dislike her. I just found that confusing for a split second.
No, it's fine. We'll just blame it on your lack of sleep today. It's okay.
I guess.
Speaking of, I guess, director.
Yeah, I'm doing this in the order that it should be done. So that's Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Ryan Coogler for Sinners, Josh Safdie for Mighty Supreme, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. Why we're doing it in the order of the movie, where
Yeah,
apparently
I
it's
think
not that for the actors, I don't get.
I think we've been doing that for a while now. I just forget every year.
Well, I'm just always going to list it like that, so. Actually, I probably
I
not.
am.
I'll
I
just copy
remember
it off Wikipedia so I've got all the accurate info.
I remember when Villeneuve missed for the first Dune. I was waiting for him alphabetically, and it was like, oh, we learned at the beginning he was snubbed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, director was always an interesting like discourse throughout the entire season. Like Jafar Panahi was like in here at one point for a long, long time. That's when everybody thought it was just an accident was going to overperform like everybody thought it was going to. And they're like, no, we're not going that route. Sorry. That's not an option this year, apparently. And then I said, I think it was a couple shows ago about Chloe Zhao missing, and I was like, it could just be 5 dudes. You never know. And I'm very glad I had that last conversation with you before we went and did our final predictions. Because if I didn't, you would have talked sense in my head and got me to realize that Chloe Zhao was always going to get in this lineup. But I'm very happy I never gave up on Josh Safdie. I feel bad that I deviated from Joachim Trier because I should have known all along he was in here. And PTA and Kugler obviously were never going to be a different story. I mean, Ashley, at this point, when you were looking at the predictions, I get a chance to watch your live stream yet, but I will say that did you feel that Guillermo del Toro was going to get that fifth slot at this point, or did you feel that, oh, I already lost this point?
I mean, there was because I was sort of again because I was trying to work out why we're doing it in this order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I got confused too.
I missed that. There was like Chloe Zhao for Hamlet. Like, no, she's last. She's yeah. So it's
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So much so it didn't dawn on me. Turns out I got the same points as you, Owen, because I copied it. I thought I'd fucking. I made all my boxes gold and realized, oh wait, no, Del Toro didn't actually get it. I mean, it was kind of an either or to some extent. You know, Marty Supreme. I mean, case in point in the number of nominations, which I'll bring up obviously when we get to Best Picture. The fact that you know Frankenstein and Marty Supreme, if you take into account what actually happened, and obviously Del Toro not getting in for Marty Supreme, the fact that they're on the same number of nominations shows you that it was in the hunt and whatever. I could
sure.
easily have seen it, considering you can tell with practically everything that he's made. Hell, even Hellboy 2. Hell, even Blade 2. Del Toro is passionate about what he's given and what he's doing.
Sure.
And sometimes it's the passion, maybe not the passion projects, but the passion directors that. Because PTA is clearly a passion director. Kugler.
For sure.
Kugler was sort of on the fence, but from what happened with Sinners, Sinners is his inception, as I keep saying. Which again, that was the passion project that Nolan was allowed to do because of The Dark Knight. Um, Trio's obviously been around for quite a while, um, and to some extent, Zhao had the passion here because I wondered what Eternals did to her mentally, because she went from all the success of Nomadland, whether you like the project or not, as I'm looking at you, um, and Disney being Disney. Look at practically
Yeah.
everybody over the last 5-10 years that's done some sort of small thing that maybe it got Oscar recognition, maybe it didn't. I'm thinking back to, oh, what was it? Was it the guys that did Troll Hunters, or it was some Scandinavian film? And then they said, "Oh right, do Pirates of the Caribbean 5," and it was just way beyond their sort of pay grade. Um, very rarely does that happen. Arguably, I'd say Coogler did it with Black Panther, and to a lesser extent the sequel. Um, and obviously, was it just Creed 1 and 2 he directed?
Just one.
Just one, okay. I can't remember. Because didn't Jordan direct 3?
Yeah, and that random dude did the second movie, whose name
Random,
I can.
random dude.
Steven something.
Yeah. It just makes me sort of, because of now how we're actually seeing a lot of these smaller projects actually getting way more light. Directors need to be more sort of very careful with people. Basically, if a studio offers you a shit ton of money to do your own project, grab it. If it's anything to do with existing IP, maybe refuse it, and like possibly if they sort of give you a second glimpse, then go for it, because the amount of like big directors, you know, look at bloody Josh Trank and Chronicle. That was a really good superhero film. Then they gave him Fan Four Stick, as I will keep calling it, because it was
I'm
just
seeing it.
the presentation.
So Michael B. Jordan's been on both sides of this with Coogler and
Yeah.
Troy.
And hell, didn't he get fucked over with New Mutants as well? So he like got double shafted.
I don't even remember the New Mutant story, but
But it's sort of, that's why it's sort of, it's pleasing to see Zhao here, because it's like that's what she should have been doing all along. And Del Toro's got the reputation to sort of have the stuff, and obviously Safdie does. It's whether we get to see a Safdie Brothers production soon, it'll be interesting to see, or whether they'll just keep working separate. Whether we have to wait a few, a la Daft Punk, we have to wait a few years before they actually get back together and like, let's do a Brothers production. Either way. Briefly go into chat because before we get to picture, Bry was perfect for sound. Visual effects had Frankenstein, Superman, and Wicked over F1, Jurassic World, and Lost Bus. Cinematography had Hamnet over Marty Supreme. For actor had Jesse Plemons over Ethan Hawke, and Chase Infinity over Kate Hudson. Director Jafar Panahi over Joachim Trier. And then I'll mention it here just to get around it. Best picture I had, it was Just an Accident over F1 the movie. Speaking of, the best picture 10 being Focus Universal's Begonia, Apple Warner Brothers F1 the movie. Oh, so they literally did have 3 in. Netflix's Frankenstein, Focus and Universal's Hamnet, A24's Marty Supreme, Warner Brothers One Battle After Another, Neon Secret Agent and Sentimental Value, Warner Brothers Sinners, and Netflix's Train Dreams. So weirdly, A24, the only one that sort of stands alone.
I had a very happy moment during this announcement because usually I count picture nominees so I know when we're ending. But I wasn't this time, and I think I thought we were done at Sinners, and then I got wonderfully surprised by Train Dreams being there. Even though I was predicting it, and I've been predicting it since I saw the movie like a couple of months ago. It was, and I'm just still so pleased that it got this far and has done this well. I'm just really happy about Train. I feel like one of my main takeaways is how happy I am about Train. So I love that.
So
And I was even though it was like in all the cards and the lines, I still got pretty surprised by F1, shall I? To be honest.
I just felt. I think we talked about it back in the beginning of the season that F1 was going to be something this season, and it was going to be the crowd pleaser, the one that was going to do decently when we actually got to nominations morning.
When it first came out, people were saying that, and my response was kind of slow down, guys. But here we are.
So when you watch the video again in the long ago and way before time when it finally uploads, which I may hopefully have solved that problem. I don't think I have because I don't know how I'm going to send it anyway. I was trying to go like, okay, this is the order, it's the order. Completely forgot about Sentimental Value, which is funny because it's like I love the movie. But the thing is, it's like I forgot about it. I was like Secret Agent, Sinners, and I was like, oh, yeah, Sentimental Values next. That's right, Sinners. And then I realized after Sinners, I was like, it's Train Dreams. It has to be. I was like, I knew right then and there, Weapons wasn't getting that final slot, and luckily, and somehow, some way, I went 9 for 10 and knew what the final nomination was going to be, but just discounted it all season. And AJ went for it was just an accident that we all thought was going to make it, but they're like, no. We only have room for 2 this year when it comes to international films. We can't put 3 in there. That's not a thing.
It is interesting when we talk about how there's stuff every year that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at the international choice with The Secret Agent getting into picture and actor and all that. That by all accounts, the math problem should result in it being the one in screenplay instead of it was just an accident, but that's not the case.
That's exactly right.
There's always bad math with these.
I want to say the first time in a while, the top 10 nominees are the actual 10. Because we have Sinners with its record 16, One Battle After Another with 13, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, and Sentimental Value on 9, Hamnet on 8, and then Begonia, F1, Secret Agent, and Train Dreams on 4. Which then, to that extent, the only other multiple nominations, which I guess is what we'd have to consider for the 11th, is Avatar, Fire and Ass. No.
No.
Blue Moon, K-pop Demon Hunters, It Was Just an Accident, and Sirat.
I would still say, you know, K-pop Demon Hunters probably isn't out of the equation.
Mm-mm.
No.
I'd probably, since we'll never know, it's not like we have an answer, so we can just say whatever we want. But I would probably just stick with It Was Just an Accident being a if I had to choose.
Part of me wants to say Blue Moon because of the
Blue
screenplay.
Moon.
With the
Screenplay and
the
actor is a
acting
pretty
nod.
double.
I feel that's usually sometimes enough for a film to get in picture.
It has been in the past.
Not to mention, people come in and out, like Margaret Qualley and Andrew Scott and stuff like that.
Mm.
But it is interesting that the two nominated things, Hawk and the screenplay, that's basically the whole movie.
That's the whole movie. Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
Hawk and the screenplay.
Bryce says, I'll say this when you guys do your personal lineup, whenever that will be. As always, no spoilers. Yeah, we never usually try to, if it's something that you haven't experienced. Josie asks, outside of Sinners and Five Bloods, our favourite Delroy Lindo performance. Weirdly, I want to say his, antagonist cop from Gone in 60 Seconds. Just maybe because it was at the same time, it just reminded me of, what if Delroy Lindo played Shaft and it wasn't Samuel L. Jackson? Because it's got that sort of charm and sort of style to him as well in that. It's like, yeah.
Especially if it was him in Singleton's movie with no other changes except he's Jackson. That would have probably I've got to. What's great about this is even though they're both Spike movies, they're two like roles on the opposite sides of the spectrum. I can't decide between Crooklyn and Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good in Crooklyn, especially. I love when he's been doing the run here for Sinners. A lot of people have brought up Malcolm X, and I love that role is like getting recognition now.
Josie also says, you guys rock. And what will we put Begonia with in a double feature, thematically speaking? I mean, partially pointed at you, AJ, because she does mention your name in the thing, but
how, how about how about how about Big Bad Wolves? I feel like those have kind of similar vibes of having a restrained person and everything's ambiguous, is it or is it not, as they're being interrogated.
to some
Pretty
extent,
similar
I'd
stuff.
also say Under the Skin.
That's interesting.
That's a good one.
It's hard to not just say like another Lantham, so unique to it.
Under the Skin just feels right because it's like, I don't think there's anything else where it's sort of like, I mean, the closest to some extent might be World's End, with the sort of, or I guess Invasion of the Body Snatchers or stuff like that. Hell, when it comes out, maybe the what's it called? Detection Day. Spielberg's
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day.
That feels like it might be sort of,
Do you realize how much I cannot downplay how fucking psyched I am that we have a new poster for a Spielberg movie that is just her face?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, oh my god, I love it. But yeah, my answer would be Big Bad Wolf for that.
What about Don't Look Up?
For Begonia?
Yeah.
As far as the way, the way it reflects a problem in society we have, potentially. Of course, I know when you describe Begonia that way, people find the ending quite controversial, but we won't say anything about that.
I mean,
but
not yet.
In that respect, compare Jesse Plemons' character in Begonia to the 2 minutes and 40 seconds of him stealing the fucking film in Civil War. That's kind of the same sort of character.
I love that character in Civil War, and I will not. I don't. No problems in admitting that.
It feels ominous. Brian just asked us to not spoil anything, and now I feel like we're so close to saying too much about Begonia.
We've said too much already. We need to move forward.
Yeah. Bri mentions they do the order of the movie not by the person every year.
That's fair.
Yeah, so right. So
I always forget every year.
Thanks to Eric Anderson and his post on Awards Watch with the closest thing that I get to stats now, because the Oscars don't do it themselves because they're lazy. Although the one that I don't think that has been acknowledged in terms of Sinners, I'll mention it after I get all the other stuff that go through here. So yeah, so Coogler's only the third black filmmaker to be nominated in the same year for producing, directing, and screenplay, following Get Out for Jordan Peele and Black Klansman for Spike Lee. Co-producer Zinzi Coogler becomes the first Filipino producer and third black woman nominated for Best Picture, with her and Ryan the first black married couple ever. Cinematographer Autumn Durald Arkapour made history as the first Filipino woman and the first woman of colour nominated for cinematography. Production designer Hannah Beachler, who won the Oscar for her work on Black Panther, got her second nomination and is still the only black woman recognised within production design. Ruth E. Carter is now the most nominated black woman in Oscar history because she got her fifth nomination for Sinners. Sinners also is the seventh movie to be nominated in every tech category since Titanic, Master and Commander, Hugo, Revenant, Mad Max Fury Road, and Dune Part 1.
I don't think I ever knew Master and Commander did that well.
Yeah, but that's the one thing as well. Considering at least the two other big sort of nomination ones that sort of showed up here in Sentimental Value, one battle after another. Sinners' 16 nominations came from 16 different categories. There was no doubling up.
Oh my god.
So
yeah.
2/3 of the categories have got the word Sinners in
it. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
And you can't really say the new category has anything to do with it because it's no different than if the sounds weren't one category.
If the new
now.
category didn't exist, it'd still be 15, so it'd still be breaking the record.
Yeah.
And it'd still be 15 from 15, yeah. Yeah, one battle after another missed out on getting nominations in all 4 acting categories. Which means PTA is now on 14 nominations.
Cool.
Will he get a win out of one of those 14 now? Hopefully.
I think he's gonna be just fine. I think we all know he's gonna probably have a couple to take at least, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not buying he's gonna struggle and adapt the screenplay. I think he's got that.
Oh well, somebody's gonna be upset. Chalamet is now the youngest person ever to be nominated for acting and producing in the same film at 30 years and 26 days, beating Warren Beatty by 9 months.
Wow.
He's also now the youngest actor to get 3 Best Actor nominations since Brando.
Well, let's hope that doesn't go to his head.
And Skarsgård's nomination for Sentimental Value is the first supporting actor Oscar nominee for a non-English international film in Oscars history.
That's crazy.
There's been plenty in leading, but never in supporting. First Norwegian film to be nominated for Best Picture. And Trier becomes the first Norwegian director to be nominated twice in international film. Also becomes the most nominated Scandinavian film in Academy history. And Trier is also the first Norwegian director nominated for a Norwegian film.
Go figure.
See if there's anything there. That's more about the misses, which we'll mention. At 40 years, Amy Madigan now holds the record for longest gap between Oscar nominations. And speaking of close to 40 years, at 37 years old, Emma Stone has now broken Meryl Streep's record to become the youngest woman to get 7 Oscar nominations.
Sure.
Admittedly, because, a fair few of them have come through producing and whatever. Although, as they mentioned, Meryl Streep's 21 nominations is from 21 different movies. So, she also is like Sinners. She's not doubling up. So with that, with the nominations for Buckley, Hudson, and Stone, Focus Universal is the first studio since MGM in 1930 to get 3 Best Actress nominations in the same year. First Brazilian actor nominated for actor with Wagner Moura's nod for Secret Agent. Sirat's the first all-woman sound team nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, wow.
Greta Gambier is the first Indian woman to be double nominated at the Oscars, comprised of wholly archival footage, which the branch has consistently snubbed. I'm looking at you, Senna. And then discussing film with one troll, I swear, in here. The major films that didn't get any Oscar nominations being J. Kelly, Superman, Sorry Baby, Materialists, After the Hunt, 28 Years Later, Long Walk, No Other Choice, Wicked for Good, War of the Worlds. Don't worry, the Razzies made up for that. Testament of Anne Lee, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Demon Slayer, Wake Up Dead Man, and Mission Impossible.
Does that conclude our conversation?
I think so.
Right at 8 o'clock. Nice.
Ironically. And as somebody puts in the comments below, yeah, I'd say Fantastic Four's not making it in, considering some of the tech chances that it had. Also, I guess would be a surprise that it got nothing. As we reflected, with the whole, it's period, it's superhero. It's gonna make it in, right? But yeah, merrily we roll along. Oh, that's a different film.
It had a weak run in my theater. Did not get a chance to see it.
God, let's hope that bloody Chris Pratt film gets a week-long run.
I'll know tomorrow.
I feel I've seen the most damning review yet, saying, "Thank God there was a timer in the corner of the screen, so I knew when the shit was about to end."
Oh. Chat message, Ashley.
Oh, brief one in. Oh, Red Spice 84 saying, "What's our favorite nomination of the day?" Ooh.
Just one.
I'm gonna go with oh my god, like a whole bunch just jumped out at me. The one that jumps out at me first is I want to say Train Dreams in Picture, even though it wasn't like a surprise or anything.
Ashley?
I kind of... The one I didn't see coming, and it was a pleasant surprise, was Lindo finally getting recognition.
Nice.
One Me I saw on the cusp. Hawk I saw on the cusp. Lindo, I wasn't sure whether he was. So the fact that he did, it was, and it's the same with Hudson. You know, she was on the cusp as well. She Lindo, I wasn't sure whether the Academy would have the balls. Thank God it's more European now, at least from what I've heard. Basically, there's like 10,000 people now part of the Academy, and way more of them are not American. It's mainly sort of European sort of area, so that might reflect why we're getting more European, if not world cinema stuff, actually making it into the main categories now.
I'll
I mean,
I'll throw Sirach getting into sound into the mix.
obviously one of the ones for my predictions and also for my personal lineups, Kate Hudson getting in for Song Sung Blue makes me happy. But head and shoulders, if you've been watching this channel, for me waxing poetic about this movie since I saw it the first time and only one time, just like Bob Trevino only saw it one time, it still made my top 5 of the year. Spoiler alert. Blue Moon getting original screenplay nomination made me super happy.
Obviously, without question, if Sorry Baby had made it, that would have been my answer. But still, I support Blue Moon as well. So
come on, BAFTA voters, get Andrew Scott in a nomination, please. We'll know what, Tuesday?
Tuesday is that, and I want to say Tuesday is also WGA Day.
So it sounds like, without me talking to anybody on off camera, it sounds like we got our show to do on Tuesday.
More than likely, yeah.
Which is fine by me.
Let me double check my schedule, whether I can fit it in. Depending on time, if I can remember what tab it is. There we go. I'll have a quick check of that. Yeah, that's probably. I'll let it load. We'll talk about it afterwards. But yeah, I probably can fit it in. Have a quick check.
I would say as long as everything lines up, I would say a 6 p.m. start that night if we are going live or not.
Yeah,
because I got this new thing
fit
that
that
I'm
in,
doing
and
lately.
then yeah, I can probably fit that in and head to bed so I can be okay for shift the following morning. Yeah.
Pretty sure I have a 5 o'clock shift that night, so I could literally just come here and just go straight to a live show, and after it's over, then eat afterwards, which is fine by me. That's what I'm doing tonight. Second we go, we're done. I'm gonna order food.
The irony is, of course, for the BAFTA. The irony is, of course, for the BAFTAs, I'm the same as you, because they usually announce the BAFTAs at sort of like 7 or 8 in the morning, local time. So like.
I'll be reading them from my computer at work.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I have access to that computer at work. If not, I'll read it during my break that day. But either way, I'll know about it before we go live that night. And since it is a discussion of nominations, chat would be to be announced. We'll put it that way. Just depends. We'll see.
And I guess at some point late next week or maybe the following week is when we, I guess, go with the guild predictions, given that DGA is coming up on the 7th. And then we have the sort of, is it the gap? No, because the Spirits are the week after, and then the BAFTAs are the week after. Okay, so 2009 needs to be fit in somewhere.
And that will be after Spirits and BAFTAs. And then I can officially announce this now because we've talked about it. Well, AJ and I have talked about it. Sorry. I'll state that we are going to be doing our personal lineups around the Oscars. So in March, we're going to be able to do our personal lineups.
Probably it's going to be the week before, probably consecutive with the Oscar winner prediction video.
Absolutely correct. So it's going to be one day you'll get the Oscar predictions, and one day you'll get our Oscar predictions.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. as our award season rolls on here on Popcast Network.
Indeed.
Thanks everyone for joining us tonight, whether live or in archive. I don't know when the video is going to get up for me. My reactions will get up sometime, I hope. I mean, right now it's stuck at 25%. That's not a good sign. So we'll see what we can do about that. If not, then I assure you they were filmed live, but just like the last 2 years, you'll never know because it's not going up. So I guess that's just a problem with the Wi-Fi and everything around the area and trying to leave the apartment, things like that. Never a good idea. Thank you to Brian. Thank you to Josie. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Red Spice, for joining us. And thank you for the ones that are lurking that are just checking us out for the first time. We appreciate you all. AJ can be not found on social media, but more AJ content is forthcoming in the near future. Speaking bluntly, will make its triumphant return to the network sooner rather than later. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, we may get more 2026 movies reviewed on this channel. Again, sooner rather than later. And
I've seen some.
yes, you have. Ashley's content, of course, can be found on X at Ash is my name UK. And more of Ashley content is coming back. I'd say gaming content will return soon. There's more snack stashes coming and all that to look forward to, among other things. Like I said, I could run this channel until after Horror Nights with as much content as I have on this network that's on private right now that I have yet to put up. We got plenty of Sip and Snacks. I have plenty of Voices of Liberty content. I mean, I just put up the Last Dickens Carolers video the other day, so that's up now. And of course, you have the videos today that you can check out of AJ's reactions and Ashley's reactions. And of course, if you want to go back to see how well we really did, and you can call our bluff on it, you can go back and watch our nomination predictions that we did before. So there's a lot of content to check out on the network. A lot more content coming on the network. I have stuff I just filmed recently from Sip and Snacks that probably not going to see the light of day till 2027 at this rate. But we'll get there when we get there. That's going to be our show. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to stream Water Parks. And also don't forget to always have the best day ever. 'Tis the season after all. And in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.